These are designer fragrances for men that are absolute pure perfection. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. I've put this list from my favorites to my top favorite perfect designer fragrances, and they are perfect because they've got the scent down. They're also long lasting and usually quite projecting. Overall, even the bottles are amazing. They are just pure perfection. So without further ado, let's start with the first fragrance. First up, we've got this lovely fragrance. Look at the bottle. It's absolutely amazing and unique. It's Déclaration and Cartier. This is Le Parfum. This is my favorite version. It is very spicy. Oh, it's so damn sexy. The scent itself, it's just spicy cedar with a bit of benzoin, a bit of that resinous quality to it. It is still dry and woody and very comforting and manly at the same time. I love the Le Parfum version because I think they've added a little bit more of that wood and also loads more spices. So it's the perfect fragrance for this colder season. It really, the scent payoff, it's just amazing. It smells like such a high-end fragrance. And what really amazes me with the scent is that I don't see this scent talked about very often. So you'll smell unique, and this sort of a levels fragrance, it just smells. It could be a niche fragrance. You could have spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on a fragrance, and this will still just be just as good, and you can often find it at discounters. This scent, it's long lasting, it smells so sophisticated, like you really know your fragrance game, and yeah, it's just an amazing, perfect fragrance. Next up, an absolute perfection of the fragrance, and the only reason why it's down on this list, so far down, it's because it's a newer fragrance in my collection, and I like to be a bit skeptical. I like to give it like 1 year, 2 years for it to be like, you know, allowed in my top, unless it's like mind-blowingly good. They all are, but there's just fragrances that have been with me forever that I've loved. But this scent is phenomenal. It is Loewe Esencia EDP. This scent, it's something else. It's such a good everyday manly scent. It is green. It's almost like you walking through a forest. You've got this bitterness, you've got woodiness, you've got a lot of lavender. This, a lot of people will say, is Creed Aventus inspired, and I do agree. It's very Creed Aventus inspired, but at the same time, it is different. It's not a dupe. It's not a copy. It is different. For example, like Cedra Boisé from Mancera. It's inspired by Creed Aventus, but it's not the same. And I love how they've just developed the scent profile. It's got better performance, better longevity. I think it smells much more rounded. It smells more intense to me. It's just, you like surrounded by the smell. You really are just hit with all the notes together. Whereas with Aventus, it's much lighter and fresher, so it's just a bit of a different fragrance. To me, I wouldn't put Creed Aventus on this list, but this I would totally do, and it smells amazing, so good in the air. I love this scent. If you need an everyday scent that everybody will just love the way you smell, this is a no-brainer. Absolutely, just get it. It's so good. Next up is a scent that is just a perfect fragrance again, and it is Prada Black Luna Rossa. This scent to me was a love at first sniff, and I still absolutely adore it. I just smelled it randomly. I purchased it straight away, which, believe it or not, I mean, this it usually doesn't happen. Like, I don't buy fragrances just after I smell them. Usually I give them a good try. I go back because I want to only recommend the best of the best to you. And this is it. This really impressed me. I love how mysterious this fragrance is. This is really somebody who is mysterious, who doesn't talk much, who's got this mysterious aura around them. And I love the mintiness, the subtle, powdery, dusty vanilla. It's just a seductive beast. love it to death. And next to it is another very similar profile of a fragrance, and I think this one is perfection. My favorite Le Male by far, it's Le Male Le Parfum Intense from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This scent, I know that many of you might love the other versions like the Elixir, the new Le Beau, Paradise Garden. But for me as a woman, there is nothing quite like Le Parfum Intense. I'm telling you, if you want to wear a perfect fragrance on a date.
Hi.
This is such a good one because you can spray a ton of it and smell really strongly, but you can also spray a few sprays of it, and it is good for those closer like Netflix and chill situation because it's got this incredible, again, minty vanilla softness. This one is a bit more minty, a bit more cold and mysterious than the Prada one, but they are similar in the scent profile, and I absolutely love them. And I believe Le Male is a bit more long lasting, so that's why it's higher on the list, but overall it is total perfection. By the way, what do you think makes for a perfect fragrance? Are you somebody who's super picky and only buys fragrances if they have, the scent, the longevity, the projection? Or are you just a bit more like, oh, I'll buy it even if it's not long lasting because I absolutely love the smell? Let me know how you buy fragrances and what is important to you. Next up, we've got Givenchy Reserve Privé fragrance. This scent, when it first came out, I was like, wow, yes, I just love the scent profile. To me, this is a formal suit jacket, wedding sort of a fragrance for a guy. It is syrupy, it is irisy, it's woody, it's just comforting, and I would say a heavy hitter. This is not a fragrance for somebody who just wears like Dior Sauvage or Toilette all the time and they like that scent profile. There's nothing wrong with it, but that person is probably not looking for something like this. Whereas if you're really into fragrance, you want a couple of freshies, but also the heavy hitters. This is just perfection. It's 10 out of 10. The scent profile, it's so rich. It's really impressive. For somebody who's not into fragrances, they'll probably think, this person is wearing like a really niche fragrance that I just don't have access to, because it smells that different to the usual freshies that designers give us, or the really sweet fragrances. This is sophistication, a classic fragrance, perfect for those, suit and tie occasions. Great. Now another perfect fragrance, and we're getting to the top of this list, to my top favorites. This is a monstrous performance fragrance, and I love it for that. It's absolutely beast mode. It's so strong, but the scent profile, it is also amazing, because it would be bad if it was strong but horrible. This is a stronger review, absolutely. I just love this scent. I don't talk about it enough. I've kind of stopped because you started complaining that it's not so easy to get hold of, but I believe it's getting easier to get hold of it, and I found it in quite a few shops, so I'm starting to talk about it again. This scent, it is an amped up, stronger review version. Oh, just God. It is that nutty, ambery goodness of stronger review intensely, but it's also more smoky. It's got ambroxan, that woodsy ambroxan that makes it such a strong and just hitting fragrance. If you know Parfum de Marly fragrances, they often use that sort of woodiness in their fragrance. So to me, this could be like a Parfum de Marly fragrance for sure, but for fraction of the price, it's hyper strong. You won't get rid of it on your clothes. You have to wash them probably 2 times to get rid of this fragrance. And it's a fragrance for somebody who wants to be really strongly smelled. who wants that huge sillage, who is like this really confident guy. This is who this fragrance was made for. Just getting whiffs of it outside, it's so good. And it cuts through even the coldest of minus temperatures. I'm telling you, this fragrance, it is perfect for cold climates. Now we're getting closer to the top of the list. And this fragrance, it is another perfect scent. To me, fresh fragrances are absolutely amazing for men. I love a good freshie on a guy, but they often are very similar to each other in a designer sphere, and sometimes they get a bit boring. And this fragrance just makes for a nice modern twist, and it is Ford Oud Minérale. This is a fresh mineral woody scent that is so cool. If you want something that smells extremely masculine, and maybe you've tried Acqua di Gio and you really like that, I think you would love this. This is even more, I would say, sophisticated, more expensive smelling, but it gives you that same aquatic freshness. And then instead of patchouli, it's using this dry oud, which to me, this is like raw masculinity, the vibe of the scent. It is like if Dior was releasing Fahrenheit now, that masculinity, they would release something like this. And this is to me like a much better updated Dior Fahrenheit sort of a fragrance. It's not a copy, but I'm saying the vibe is there. Absolutely love it, long lasting again. And it's just perfection. Number 4 on this list, it is a Chanel scent. Can you guess? It is Bleu de Chanel. Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. This is perfection. My husband just wore it the other day and I was in love. I'm in love with my husband, obviously, but with the scent, I was in love. This scent, although we've got so many fragrances, so many amazing niche fragrances, so many polarizing, beautiful scents, somehow Bleu de Chanel, it always is still one of my favorite scents of all time. Just the freshness, the woodiness, the smokiness. It's so crisp, so long lasting. It smells utterly just masculine, and it's just a good scent. If you've never owned Bleu de Chanel, just get it. It's simple, like you'll get it and you'll never stop buying it into your collection. It's just that good. The impression, like the compliments you get, the attention you get, the way that you love the way you smell, this is just perfection. The longevity is also absolutely amazing, and that's why I didn't put the Parfum on this list, because the projection is not as good as the Eau de Parfum. So this, you can't argue with perfection. This is it. And number 3 on this list, it's another Chanel scent. Can you believe it? But it is Allure Homme Sport Eau Extrême. This to me is just perfect. I've spoken about this forever. This and Bleu de Chanel were the first scents I ever bought to recommend to you on this fragrance channel, and it is just because they are that good. And this is my favorite, my personal favorite, even more favorite than Bleu de Chanel. To be honest, I go crazy for this scent. I have smelled this one quite often actually where I live. I don't know why, but I think a lot of men like this scent as well, which I'm very glad about, because whenever I smell this, I'm in heaven. This is fresh and sporty, minty, mandarin, but it's also incredibly creamy, and it's got that tonka bean that makes it just smooth. And I just love this scent. The scent cloud, it's so spectacular on this. Apply a ton of it. Don't be shy with it, because this fragrance is meant to be just smelled around you. It is the most delicious, sexy scent ever. So it reminds me of like a guy in a linen shirt in the south of France. Not a care in the world. Just a good time. And yeah, I just love the scent. Number 2 on this list is a fragrance that I love even more. I don't know. They're all pretty much, they're very hard to tell apart. I love them all so deeply. And this is the new L'Homme Idéal Parfum. I own nearly every single flanker of L'Homme Idéal because it's just a killer fragrance. And if you're a guy, just trust me and get yourself one. Specifically this new L'Homme Idéal, the Parfum. They've upped the longevity, which I love. They upped the projection. It's a romantic, fresh but sweet and almondy scent that is also leathery, and it's got this incredible just projection, and it's spicy. The atomizer is amazing. I'll become like a singer due to this fragrance, because every time I talk about this fragrance, I just talk forever. So I'll try to cut myself off, because this fragrance is pure utter perfection. And number one on this list, this is a fragrance that I can't believe it's designer. This is the best Dior designer line, in my opinion. Let me know what you think, but to me it's the best. There's no other line from Dior, there's no other fragrance from Dior that is better than this, and it is Dior Homme Parfum. They thankfully released it again. This is, I've got the previous version, that is just spectacular, but just the new one is also very good, so get that one as well, especially the dry down. It is very, very similar, but this is a scent that is, I fall in love with again and again. It's a fragrance that if I smelled this on a guy, I would be like, oh my gosh, this is mind-blowingly good. What is he wearing? It is this iris that is incredibly smooth and syrupy and welcoming, I would say. It's such high quality. It's got a leatheriness to it. I even smell this like cocoa powder in here. I'll hold on to my bottle from 2017 forever. I'll get the new one so I can actually spray it, because I'm kind of saving the sprays on this. This is a fragrance that I literally will spray on my pillow because I want to be surrounded by it. So it's just let this obsession sink in. This is the obsession I've got with this scent. Let me know what is your perfect designer fragrance that you are just in love with in the comments down below. I'll of course link any of these at discounters if I can find them at a great price, or any samples I can find for the Loewe fragrance, because I believe it's a bit more pricey than the other designer fragrances in this list. I was wondering if you like me to review a bit more maybe Arabian brands. Are you interested in that? Let me know in the comments, because I always want to, you know, make videos that you guys want to see, and I'm interested to see in what kind of videos you like to see on this channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy me talking to you, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.